We're now being joined by Dr. Obire, who is an economist, financial advisor, and Director General, Nigerian Thought Project. Great to have you on this special broadcast. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Obire. All right, you know that the election in Ondo State is what we're essentially dealing with today. And I know that you are very conversant with everything political, even though you are an economist and a financial advisor. What are your expectations today, given that Ondo is almost a two-horse race between the ruling APC candidate, the sitting governor, Aiyedatiwa, and the candidate of the PDP, even though there are 15 others, out of which 3 have endorsed the sitting governor. What are your thoughts regarding the preparedness for this election, and what are your expectations?
Well, thank you very much. We have come to another off-cycle election, like we just had in Edo State of recent. If you look at the candidates that are actually in the front burner of this election, you would see that they have a lot in common in some areas. Both of them have been deputy governors to the late Akete and Aketi, and they both have some level of presence in Ondo State. But then the present governor, Aiyedatiwa, I think he has been able to, within the short period he has been governor of the state, he has been able to garner more strength in terms of performance that he has put out there for the people to seek for their votes. Then on the other hand, the PDP candidate is also trying his best to see what he can get from the people in terms of support for today's election. But then there is still a dark horse which might not be seen. The former governor of Ondo State, the younger brother, I think, is also running on the platform of the ZLP. So there are lots of expectations that will come up today. But we hope that the election will be free, fair, and peaceful, because most times we have this problem of voters' apathy and all that because of uncertainty. The electorates expects at the polls. But we hope that today there will be a peaceful election like we have in Edo State. And at the end of today, we are sure that a winner will emerge, and a new path will be for Ondo State.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the morning show this morning. Now, it's been reported that a lot of lines are empty. Maybe people are slow to start this morning. Or do you believe what some have reported, which is that because of lack of trust in INEC, because people do not believe their votes count, that they are not coming out to vote? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Well, I think of recent, INEC have improved in their activities. But then the trust of the people still matters a lot in determining the outcome of today's election, because we can see that the polls are open, and there's still time between now and probably 2 p.m. when the pools will close. So we expect that some people, there are those who wants to watch to see whether there will be issues or there will be security issues, there will be, So people, I'm sure that by the time they observe that the process is peaceful, they will surely come out. But you cannot rule it out that Nigerians are still in doubt of the process. But then it can only get better with time.
All right. There are interesting developments, in terms of the analysis of the voters in Ondo State for this year. I'm sure you have been following, and I would like your thoughts, given that this is a field that you have also played in the past. INEC is saying that there are more male voters, and our correspondent on ground, Obire, also alluded to that. From what INEC released, 50.36% of the voters in the Ondo election are male, compare that to 49.64% female expected voters. Out of the entire 1.7 million voters who have collected their cards, 35.41 are youth, and then middle age constitute about 35.17%. What do you think that this indicates? Is it a masculine kind of election or voter, outlay in Ondo State, where you have more men being registered and collecting their PVCs, and then at the time that you expect that youth will dominate, you find them being only 35% of those who have collected their PVCs. Do you think that this is indicative of anything at all?
Well, electioneering process is mainly driven by the youth, but with time, you see that there's decline in interest in participation by the youths. I think over time, they felt that the system, the electioneering system, is not to be trusted. But at the same time, women tend to have more patience in waiting for or participating in an election. But if there is this statistics that shows that the men are more, it also shows it doesn't give us a progression, because there are more women than men. And if the men are the only ones showing interest in participating on election day, or having interest to be part of those who wants to vote, then it also means that the women are also losing interest already, and that is not good for our system. So I think the political parties have a whole lot to do in all this. There's need for the parties to mobilize more of the women even than the men, because most times the women are more loyal when they believe in something that, okay, we want to do this, and they actually go all out to do it. But then we think we should be more pressing that's the political parties. They should be more out there to mobilize the women and the youths, so we can have a robust voting system.
Thank you, sir. Now, you've said that perhaps women are losing confidence, perhaps the youth have lost confidence. Why would you say that is? And also just speaking about Ondo State in particular, you know, Ondo State is a state, the Sunshine State, it's an oil-producing state. They do have oil and gas reserves there, but it's mostly a state that its economy is resting on agriculture. What would you say are the issues that are affecting the average voter in Ondo State today? And why would you, and if they are no longer confident in the process, why would you feel that that is?
Well, it takes time for people to wake up to reality, but we cannot put aside that over time we've had issues where people feel like, oh, my vote will not count. But gradually we are getting out of that. INEC is improving, and it can only get better, like I said earlier. But you cannot take away that mindset from the people that, oh, if I go out there to vote, how will my vote count? Will they come and snatch ballot boxes? Will they change the results? But most of these things have been taken care of by INEC. And it's not about whether the state is an oil producing or agriculture and all that. It has to do with interest in politics, interest in exercising their franchise as citizenry of Ondo State. They have the opportunity and the chance to choose who leads them. But for each person that didn't vote or that will not vote today, only means that they voted for who actually win. So who will actually win the election at the end of the day. But it is important for citizenry to see electioneering process as a very serious issue, because whoever becomes governor at the end of the process will not lead his political party alone, but is going to lead the entire Ondo State. So if they don't participate in this process, they are also defranchising themselves and the right to choose the right person to govern them for the remaining 4 years. Because if you take a look at what happened in 2017, that is exactly what put Ondo State into this off-cycle situation. If not, they will not be here today. But it has happened, and we're already here. All we need to do is to avoid issues. There needs to be more trust in the process. The people need to trust the process. We cannot shy away from our responsibilities because we feel that something is going to happen, which has not happened. Because for you to predict that, oh, if I go out there, my vote will not count, you don't know whether your vote will count or not. But trust the process. If you trust the process, your vote will count. So we must begin to trust the process. It is very important for Nigerians, for voters, to trust the process and the system so that we can get out of the present situation of voters' apathy.
All right, Dr. Obire, in your opinion, what do you think, what are the key factors that you think will determine who the voters who will come out today will vote for? Bearing in mind that 4 years ago, when this type of election held in Ondo State, It was also a two-horse race between the late Governor Akeredolu, who was seeking re-election in 2020. Recall that for APC, he polled a total of 292,830 votes to defeat the PDP candidate, Itayo Jegede, who polled 195,791. Now, Akeredolu is not running because he has moved to the world beyond. Jegede is also not the candidate of the PDP. We have two people, like you rightly pointed out, who had worked with Akeredolu as deputy governors. So what do you think will determine the choice? Will it be about policies? Have we had policies that stand out, in terms of the actual needs of Ondo people? Or will it be about charisma, personality, or individual advantage? What, in your opinion, will determine or shape this election?
Well, over time in Africa, not just on those states, not just Nigeria, elections are characterized by personalities mostly. But then capacity is also one thing that people need to start looking at. Both the PDP candidate, Agbola, and Aiyedatiwa of APC, they've been part of late Akeredolu's administration, the first term and the second term before he passed on. May God bless his soul. But the people of Ondo State actually have so much love for the late Akeredolu. And since the present governor took over, he has tried so much to show some capacity. He has shown capacity, he has shown compassion. He is doing things that actually touch the people. Then on the other side, the former deputy governor, which is the PDP candidate, Agbola, he also has his own running points. But from what I am seeing today and from what might happen, the people of Ondo State, I'm sure they are happy with the present governor and the present administration, but that is not enough to decide election. So at the end of the poll today, it's either there are those who love what Aiyedatiwa is doing, there are those who also love the PDP candidate, and they both has followership, and both has put their cards on the table, what they want to do for Ondo people. The decision of today lies with the electorate in Ondo State. So I am seeing also that personality is going to also take place. And don't forget, another thing that is also going to be a factor today in this election is this is the first time election is going to happen in the Southwest since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over as president of Nigeria. So there is also his party, which is the APC, is participating. PDP is participating, and other 15 political parties. But I also think that it will also have it will have some impact in today's election, because people are looking at what will be on the table. How the new government that will come to be from today, to be
Obire.
voted for from today, what they will bring to them. Yes.
Dr. Obire, you made a reference to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, given the fact that this is the first election that will happen in the Southwest since his emergence as president. A lot of people think that the president and his party are interested, if not desperate, to win Ondo election so that it can show up, support for the president towards his re-election in 2027. But we see that the president, has said that he wants the system to go perfectly well and to have elected, the best candidate. But do you think that there's a body language from the seat of power that might suggest what may likely happen today at the polls in Ondo State?
Well, you cannot call it desperation. It's not a desperation attempt because politics is a game of numbers and is a game of interest. So the president has sent a message out there, and his position is well known that elections should be free and fair. The president is a Democrat, so I believe that he will give that fairness to all political parties that are participating today. Even the chief of staff, the chief of army staff, the chief of defense staff was in Ondo yesterday to assure everybody, all the contestants of all political parties, that election is going to ensure that there's security and is going to ensure that is a peaceful process will happen. So I don't see the president influencing what is going to happen in Ondo today. It is purely in the hands of the electorate who will go out there to exercise their franchise today.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Aiyedatiwa Obire, for joining us this morning to discuss Ondo Decides 2024.